Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, yes, of course.
Hi, everyone. A warm good evening. And myself, Raji Moore, on behalf of 46 NCDC batch. NCDC, National Child Development, stands for Women Empowerment. Baba Alexander sir designed the modules, which are very effective. And aims at spoken English courses and Montessori training for teachers. As a part of our studies, today, our great support and our beloved Bindu ma'am arranged a guest class for us. As I know, my friends all are eagerly waiting for the session. For that, let me invite Miss Ramsia to welcome our honorable guest and our entire class to our today's section. Let me invite Miss Ramsia for welcome speech.
Thank you, Richi ma'am. I feel extremely privileged and honored to be given this opportunity to welcome you all to our webinar. Sir, Bobby Varakil, sir, I feel honored that I was given this opportunity to speak about you and your accomplishments on behalf of everyone. We feel lucky to have you, sir, here with us. Sir, I hope today we'll be able to seek a little guidance from your thoughts. Sir, I welcome Bobby Varakil, who is wandering monk who chooses to follow the path of St. Francis of Assisi in search of Vishwa Sahodariya. And he did his master's in sociology in Belgium, and he has produced documentaries and has taught university level courses. And he is the director of Spiritual Vertical to Talk Shop. So I welcome you to our program. Next, I would like to welcome our Bindu ma'am, who is our backbone. Ma'am, welcome to the program. And last but not least, I welcome each and everyone who is present here. I heartily welcome each and everyone to our program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramsia ma'am, for our heartily welcoming for us. Now I welcoming you, sir, for our today's session.
Thank you. I will begin with a story which is very interesting and also to make you laugh and be relaxed, and especially knowing that you are dealing with children, students, you are in the teaching line, you're getting trained. And having met Bindu ma'am, who's an expert in Montessori, I felt very privileged and contribute to your program. The story goes like this. A teacher was observing a child playing with clay. So the teacher went near the child and asked, "Hey, Johnny, what are you making?" So Johnny said, "I am making a teacher." So the teacher again asked, "What is in your hand?" Johnny replied, "Cow dung." The teacher got a little embarrassed. My God, he's making a teacher with cow dung. So what's wrong? So teacher went and reported to the principal, the HM, headmaster, headmistress. And that person in charge of the whole school came to find what's happening with the child. So the principal asked, "Oh, Johnny, I can see you making something. What are you making?" So Johnny was busy in his world and then said, "I am making principal." So principal got a little taken aback and asked Johnny, "Okay, tell me with what you are making the principal." "Cow dung." So principal also was lost how to respond, how to understand this child. So principal went back to the office and told the manager, who was also a psychotherapist and counselor, etc. look, there is a little problem with a young little boy there. Could you handle this? So this man thought he's a very smart guy, went there and saw the child. Ah, Johnny, I know what you are making. So Johnny looked up and looked at this manager, big figure. And the manager stooped down and said, I know you are making the manager. You know, he was trying to be smart with the child. So the child said, no. So the manager got surprised. Oh, and the child says, not enough cow dung. So you get to understand how the children are smarter than we adults are. They can outsmart you. Well, the story has got a lot of implications. I won't go into the intricacies of the story, but just to make you realize the world of children we are dealing with, it's a different world. Since most of you have studied Jean Piaget, a French psychologist who did the research of the development of the child and the cognitive process, I think you will understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, coming to today's topic given to me, law of attraction. Based on that, I thought some things what I have understood, personalized, and profited for my life and growth, and to change the way I see things, the way I see myself, etc., which has been very useful. I put the caption for my session, you can recreate your life. Now that sounds a little exaggerating, isn't it? How can somebody recreate? Well, what I mean is that you can reconstruct your life. I will do a screen sharing. If ma'am allows me.
Yes, it is already allowed, Father.
Okay, okay. So you can reconstruct your life. That's my theme. So the outline is something like this. I will go through the blue part first. You can look at the screen. And then I will come to the second part, the steps for such a reconstructing exercise or a project like that. Okay. Now I want you to watch a video which I will show you right now. This is about you must have heard about Bertha Benz. Have you?
Photo this.
Sorry, I'm not able to find that video. It doesn't matter. We'll go back to the. So, yeah. Possibly it is not playing on this. It doesn't matter. Now, Bertha Benz is the wife of famous Carl Benz, the one who brought the Benz automobile vehicle into the world. Now it's interesting, Carl Benz was an engineer. He was not good in business. And he was a genius in his own way. So Bertha wanted to prove to her husband and to the world, this is something which will work and it is for the good of the world. But she knew that nobody would believe it. So there were challenges before her. So there was no proper road as we have today. And the fuel tank of that carriage was small fuel tank. And the engine used to get warm, heated up. so they had to cool the engine with using water. Sometimes when it came to the climbs, they had to push the carriage. There was no communications like we have today, not even telephone, so they had telegrams. Then the another problem was the brake to control the speed was getting worn out, and she had to replace it, find a cobbler on the way somewhere and find leather to replace it. And it's interesting, she overcame all these obstacles. Do you know how? If you have seen the video clip, unfortunately, I'm not to play it. I'm not able to play it. You must have seen it. It has been,
what is the problem with that video, Father? It is not playing, huh?
yeah.
Then can you please send to me? I will play it from my laptop.
Okay, let me try that.
In WhatsApp, you can send it forward me.
I will do that later so that I don't break the flow of.
Okay. Yeah.
So the question I'm going to ask you is that if it has been very popular video. Recently, it has been shown the first woman driver. They put it. How did Bertha Benz overcome these obstacles you saw me putting on the screen? And especially in that particular scene which I show, she comes and the people think this is a witch coming because they have not seen, by the way, car is a short form of carriage, C-A-R-R-I-A-G-E. So horses used to drive, pull the car or the carriage. So they did not find horses in front to pull. But this woman is sitting, and so they thought this is a witch coming into our little town. Could others mute because I'm hearing some disturbance noise? Okay, so that was a first shock for these village people. Then when they came, they found that this lady is going to the pharmacist shop. So they were wondering, and they were looking at this strange figure with her two sons. So everybody is silent. Then everybody looks at the pharmacist who is with his pipe and with his tumbler drinking. And then she says, I want Lebron. That is the word they used at those times. Something connected to like diesel kind of a thing. So this pharmacist looks at her and thinks that there are stains on her clothes. She wants to remove the stains of the clothes with this Lebron, this whatever fuel that is. So she says, it's not for my clothes, it's for my carriage. So he passed a funny remark, sarcastic, saying, oh, you want to poison your horses? Then she firmly looks at the pharmacist and asks, do you have 10 liters of Lebron? So you could see this woman is so confident and know what she wants. So this man gets up, and the next scene you see, Bertha is opening the fuel tank and pouring this 10 liters one by one in a bottle. And then she gets the help of somebody to start that, pull that engine to start. It fires, smoke comes, people are surprised, and she takes off. And she looks a loving look at that young girl who admires her. That's the scene. So my question is, how did this Bertha overcome the problem, overcome the obstacle? You can think about it. But to coming to the next point, I'm going to bring an important understanding, which we will have here, that there is a difference between thoughter and thinker. Now, what is that? A thoughter is somebody who has been taught to think in some other ways, and that borrowed ideas. So learn from outside, some borrowed ideas, values, principles. So I mean, you can find out in your own life, there will be many like that. A thinker is somebody who found out of his own experience of life something original, something that person has personalized, made it his own or her own. And this process of thinking will go on developing ideas, principles, values, etc. A thoughter will be doing repetitive. This thought will be going on and on in your mind. You know, say for example, oh, I should not say lie. I should not, I should be honest. Or I have to behave like this. You know, these are some things what we took from our significant others in our lives, parents, teachers, elders, you know, uncles, aunts. There are many such things. So we have been given a certain thought and we go on repeatedly keeping this thought. So that is a thoughter who will have a repeated thought going on, preoccupied with that kind of a thought. Whereas it's comfortable because it keeps you stable, you know. Whereas a thinker will always like to be challenged and it's very curious to know, how is that? How does that work? Let me see. Why should it work? Now that's the thinker. A seeker, let me put it another word. You are constantly seeking to build upon certain things you have discovered, and it goes on. Now, question to you and me will be, are you a thoughter or thinker? Anybody who wants to respond? Yes?
I am a thinker. I think I am a thinker.
You think you're a thinker?
Yeah, I'm also a thinker. Me also like I feel like a thinker.
Acha, you are feeling yourself a thinker. That means the madam's way of teaching, training you is working very well. I'm so glad. Thank you. I know Montessori method actually based on that. You have your sensory experiences, you build upon certain things, and you put a label to that, and then a symbol to that, and then you go on building. That's what you should be training in Montessori. But I tell you, most of us, majority of us, are putting thoughts and going on repeating. You check in your life. I have been like that, you know. Oh, my grandmother taught me to pray like this. I should pray like this. It's only much later I found, oh, you don't have to say those formulas to be somebody who is praying. There are other ways of praying. You understand? One instance I'm giving. So like this, in various aspects of life, either by the culture or by the religion, we are taught to keep a certain idea, a value, a principle, etc., and go on repeating it. And most of us get stuck in that. But a thinker like Bertha is a thinker. Her husband was already modeling the third model of the automobile, but he had no clue whether this can be used for a transport, a public purpose to go from, they call locomotion, from one place to the other. So this Bertha took the challenge, took the risk. Now, thinkers are people who take the risk because you are not sure. Bertha was not sure. And she had to face a lot of trouble. As I said, there were no proper roads. And you are trying to climb, you have to get down and push. So they must have struggled. 106 kilometers, she took 12 hours because every time she had to stop to cool the engine, to find fuel. So she found, oh, most of the towns in Germany, luckily it happened in Germany, they had pharmacies. Pharmacies had this Lebron. So you could take that in each town and fill your tank and then carry on. So she had to find a way, search, and she found. And then she sent a message, a telegram to her husband, Carl, I've managed to come to my hometown facing these challenges. I think we will have so many work to do to improve this carriage of car or automobile. And that's how the first automobile came Benz. They put it Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes was their daughter's name. So Mercedes-Benz was the name they put. And the world became so grateful. We are blessed. All because she tried to think out of box. We are all going round and round, or like in a square, in a certain limited way, so that you are not able to create something new, etc. Okay, now I'm coming to the law of attraction. That's the subject on which I should speak. Now, Rhonda, the pronunciation is burn, B-Y-R-N-E, is the words put, the letters, but it is pronounced as burn. So Rhonda Byrne is an Australian television writer, producer. Her famous book called The Secret came out based on her documentary, which she produced in 2006. And that popularized the whole idea of law of attraction. I've seen in the YouTube, many people don't make any reference to Rhonda, who brought it to the attention of the whole world. Is it because she's a woman? I don't know. But I know she was a genius of a woman who found a hidden truth, which was always there, but from her experience. And then she went on writing other books, The Power, The Magic, and the latest I hear, it is The Greatest Secret. Okay, this is the introductory part of The Secret, where she describes the law of attraction. Look at it. You read for yourself. You can read it. One of you can read it loud.
Can I start?
Please. Yes.
A year ago, my life had collapsed around me. My father died. My relationship with my work, colleagues, and loved ones were in turmoil. Out of the greatest despair came the greatest gift. I would have been a glimpse of a great secret. It came in a 100-year-old book given my daughter. I began tracing the secret back through history. I could not believe all the people who knew this. They were the greatest people in history: Plato, Shakespeare, Newton, Hugo, Beethoven, Lincoln, Emerson, Edison, and Einstein. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Now, one of the things Rhonda Byrne found that we suffer from thoughts. Haha, that's interesting. And she found that why do we suffer from thoughts? The reason also she found. She found that we believe our thoughts. And we are conditioned like a program. It runs your life, runs us like a computer program. You know, you feed in a program, Windows operating system, that will run your program on the screen, on the laptop, or on your tablet. Okay, so she found these thoughts which we have collected in our lives from various others, etc., is running program of our life. So it has got negative effects because it is a compulsion, and it even creates inner torture. And she found we suffer more than anything else, not from outside in the world, but we suffer because the thoughts which we are producing or going on repeating, etc. I will give you an example of my Prasanna teacher. My Prasanna teacher is my old Malayalam teacher whom I met recently. She's in her 70s, 71, 72, I think. She was retired and living her quiet life. She told me a story. She followed Professor C.R.R. Verma, who popularized naturotherapy in Kerala. Okay, so she followed that, and she's a thin woman. Something happened which started disturbing her. From her wrist, there was a lesion, a kind of a leakage of a certain pus coming from her wrist, and it was very foul smelling and all that. She's a teacher and she became a principal. It was difficult for her with that bandage, etc., to go and face a class. So her friends, relatives, everybody said, maybe it is cancer. Please, why don't you go to Amrita Medical Institute, etc. So she listened to them. When they did all the tests possible, they couldn't find it is cancer. No, it is not cancer. So finally, the experts there said, most probably we think you are suffering from bone TB, tuberculosis. Even bones can have that. So teacher got a shock of her life, and everybody got a shock. And they prescribed some medicine, and she was forced to take that medicine. She didn't want. And then slowly her husband discovered, hey, you look more sickly now after going to hospital than before. What's happening? So that made her to look at all the tests, and she found her hemoglobin count, HB, is 13.5. Normally it should be 14. So it's good. A cancer or a TB patient should not have that kind of a blood count. Then her, I think PSA of another test, normally for a tuberculosis patient should go about 100, above 100. Hers is only 36. So she said she was not too sure what's happening. So she approached a retired professor from Kozhikode Medical College, Calicut Medical College. And he said, oh, I wonder what's happening. This cannot be what these people are saying, and you should stop that medicine. So she stopped. Let me find out. He was a professor, he did some research, etc. He said that, oh, having listened to you, your lifestyle with the nature living and eating this kind of organic stuff, etc., I think the body has cured you already. Oh, then why this lesion, this pus coming out? He said it is body's mechanism to throw away all the dead material in your bloodstream, and so it is doing that. So just allow it to ooze out and it will be over. By the time her son, who was doing microbiology in Delhi, came, he said, yes, that's what is happening, Amma. Don't worry. So look, a very well-informed teacher, principal could be misled because friends, relatives, etc. put some thought into her, fearful thought, and so she was in panic, and look what has happened. And finally, she found that, oh no, this is not true. So this can happen to anybody. It has happened to many of us. Now look at this picture there. What do you see? At first, what do you see first? Tell me. You can unmute and tell me.
Two faces.
Okay.
Two faces.
Okay.
And you are looking face to face.
If somebody has said it, let's give another person a chance.
One like a cup or a trophy like that.
There is something like that. Okay. Okay. Now, you people, because you're all educationists, I think you must have been used to this. But I know some people, they say, oh, I see a vase, a white vase. That's all I see. So they even argue and say, somebody said, I saw two faces. Oh, that is the dark background you're seeing. And they will go on sticking to this particular thing they happen to see. The other persons, they say, oh, no, there are two black people faces looking and there is a projector screen or something there. So we are seeing the shadow. So it is actually two faces looking at each other, not vase, as you say. They can go on arguing, But the truth is somewhere in between. It is both. Now, this is a very simple kind of thing. But I am trying to show this to say that we get stuck because we believe this is it and this is the only truth. This is happening in many religions, and because of which all that controversy going on in our society. Okay. Now, what is the discovery of Rhonda Byrne? If you believe a thought, she said, it will manifest. How come? Well, now I should explain a little bit of law of attraction and why is it what she's saying, that if you believe a thought, it will manifest. You know, thoughts are actually energy. Who is the person who discovered E is equal to mc square? The famous scientist? Anybody? Any of the students other than Reggie Anwar? Einstein, right? Very good. So Einstein found everything is a form of energy. So the mass, what you see, it can be converted into energy, and energy can be converted into this particular form. So everything in the world is some form of energy. So you call it potential energy, kinetic energy, all that sort of thing. Various forms it takes. The same way, so for example, if I pour water in this, you know, it is liquid state. If I put it in a deep freeze, it will become ice, solid state. If I boil it, it will become steam, gaseous state. What is happening is the frequency of the vibration of the molecules or subatomic particles take a higher frequency. A lower frequency will be solid state. A little higher frequency will be liquid state. Still more higher frequency will be gaseous state. Still higher will be sound perhaps, or light perhaps. And then we are also beginning to understand thought also is a form of energy. Do you believe that? Thought is a form of energy? Whether you believe it or not, today there is something called encephalogram, which they put on your head, and they know the way you are thinking, where you are, the wavelength, the frequency of your thought process, they know. So they call it alpha, beta, gamma, theta, delta. So for example, in sleep state, what is the brain waves in which they find you are in? It can be either delta if you are dreaming, or it can be if you are in deep sleep, and theta if it is in dream state. Alpha state is a calm, quiet, relaxed, meditative state. Beta is you are thinking, you are doing some things, etc. And gamma is still another state. So they found, oh, thoughts create energy. It is a form of energy, and it creates these frequencies. So having understood that, there is something called resonance. Suppose I take a tuning fork and show it over a column of air in a vessel. At one point only, you will hear humming sound. Why is it? There is a frequency in which this column of air is vibrating along with this tuning fork. So the resonance, the echo, creates that sound of humming noise. So this is true also. Any energy, any frequency comes in a similar frequency, it creates a kind of resonance. Now, that will make you understand, if you believe a thought, that form of energy in that frequency, it will manifest in your life, in your reality in some form. So let me come to two examples. Most of the people die of snake bite, not because of poison, but because of fearful thinking. Fear, oh, a snake, oh, my grandmother and others, my friends have told this is poisonous, it can kill you. That fear grips you. So thoughts create in your body a certain sensation of fear, and that affects your whole system, and people die. There is the opposite thing called placebo effect. What is it? In villages, where some places where I worked in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, in Madhya Pradesh, etc., I've seen people come to the dispensary and say, "Sister, I am sick," and so all that. Sister will give a tablet. No, they're not happy with the tablet. In Tamil Nadu, they said, sister, tusi podunga, put suji on me. So sister who is clever, a nurse or a paramedical person, she takes the distilled water, not to disappoint them, and because their thinking is that if I get an injection, I will be all right. So she carefully injects that and people get all right. So your belief in something creates that kind of reality. And most of the time, this is what is happening. So, for example, during our COVID times, what and all impressions borrowed from the media or some doctor or some hearsay created panic in people. And many got a lot of mental problems. I have been counseling panic, anxiety, all sorts of things that affects their body. So underlining thing is watch your thoughts. Now, another interesting discovery of Rhonda Byrne is that luckily the thoughts don't manifest instantly in the reality. It takes time. So there is a time gap. Okay, there is a time gap. So there is somewhere a possibility for you to reassess what's going on. And probably you can replace that kind of thought. So if you know how to make use of that gap, that delay, you can change. This is what her greatest contribution to the world is. And she found mind thinking vehicle or instrument is the greatest tool by which you can create the life you want, if you're ready to learn and observe how it functions. Okay, this is the greatest discovery. So I told you, just to recapture, Rhonda found that thoughts is a kind of form of energy. And if you believe it, now neuroscience have found, if you make a habit of believing or thinking, it wires your brain. There are neural pathways created in your brain. In a way, you can say that is your belief system. And so you tend to think whatever you see, whatever you begin to experience in those particular forms. Psychology says script. Transactional analysis says you've got a script, a program. And so your life is like a drama according to the script. You're acting out the script in your life. You understand? Okay. Now, how can we change it? So that's the beautiful thing we have to ask. Can we rewrite this program? Can we rewrite the script? Can I redesign this program? Now, I'm going to give you one example from a teacher who told me. My sister-in-law and my niece are teachers. I think one of them, somebody told me that about Raju's life. Raju is a very bad student. Everybody said very poor. Oh, he's not good in studies. He is, depressed. He doesn't look bright. Oh my God, why is he wasting time, etc. But one teacher felt that no, we should go and visit and find out why Raju is like this. So at least two of them took trouble and went. They were shocked. They were shocked to see that his home situation is very pathetic. Mother is mentally disturbed woman lying there. Raju has to look after, even give bath to his mother. Can you imagine? Father has left her because she was mentally disturbed. A grandmother is there, but she's sickly, and the COVID times it was terrible. So Raju was finding very difficult. So these teachers came back and reported to the staff, look, we went visiting and we found that this boy is in a terrible situation. He can't cope up with life itself. It is not a pleasant thing. And how can somebody with that mindset come and attend our class and pick up all that study? So we should do something about it. So luckily that school staff decided we should support him. So they found ways and means that something is done for Raju. I am concluding the story very fast. I am told because of that support and love and all that they gave to Raju, Raju began to improve. And he got high second class. And one of them said, teacher said, it seems he knew that he's very poor and he was a clever boy. He said, I have to catch up, though teachers were giving me notes, etc. I should know what exactly. So he would meet with other students and have combined study. And that's how he picked up and could come out. So you see, Raju's life changed thanks to some people who helped him to change. This is all not your making, Raju. Don't take it on yourself. We will help you to come out of it. So people can come out of their program, their conditioned mind, even their life situation, if there is a supportive ambience, environment created, a network of relationships created. So what changes persons? One of the greatest spiritual writer by name Richard Rohr from United States, a Franciscan, said, people change only when there is great suffering and there is great love. Either because of great suffering, they will find some way to think out of box, or because you are affected and influenced by a tremendous love that uplifts you and helps you to look at things differently, that time also people change. My theory is people change when there is both. And I think most people change when there is both, suffering as well as love. So Raju's story proves to me that this is possible. Okay. Now, what is the key to change? According to me, Rhonda Byrne in an interview told that, are you aware? Are you aware? If you ask this question, these three key words, you can be changed. I'm going to give you a funny example. I was called in Tamil Nadu somewhere, Nathavayan. You understand Tamil? Nathavayan means foul-mouthed fellow. Not because I said bad words, but there was foul smell, bad odor coming from my mouth. And I used to get disturbed. I said, hygienically, I'm doing cleaning, everything, brushing morning and afternoon once I discovered and somebody told, etc. But what is happening? I'm not able to get rid of it. Till a very good friend of mine who observed me for a period of time, and she was a very good, loving person. She said, Bobby, I have been observing you. I think the way you eat is creating this problem. I said, oh, my God, tell me more. Because you are not chewing your food properly. You are just swallowing food. Your mind is preoccupied with something. You are just gulping your food. And that undigested food is what is creating bad odor, which is coming from your stomach and intestines. Oh, thank you. Once I was made aware of that, thanks to a good person who really loved and wanted me to be healthy, I started changing. So I came across this person sent to me, drink your food, eat your water. You know the words of who this person said it? Anybody? You all should know. A great Tamil actor called Madhavan. He had some health crisis. So he went and he was taught how to properly eat. He says out of that experience, drink your food. So you should chew your food in such a way till it becomes watery, mixed with saliva, and then it goes down. Eat your water. Don't just gulp your water blah, 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 like that. Many people do like that with a bottle. No, take a mouthful, allow it, feel it, sense it, enjoy it, and then you swallow. So this has tremendously affected my life. I'm going to connect to the next thing. So many people think, oh, if thoughts are creating the problem, then let us monitor the thoughts. Let us control our thoughts. So many people talk about mind control, etc. Do you think you can control your thoughts? What do you think?
No, sir.
Why? Why? According to you, what is the reason? There could be many reasons.
Sometimes it will go.
Okay. Anybody else? From the audience, anybody else? Well, since time is short, I'm rushing. We will come to the discussion part later. There are 60,000 thoughts per day happening in us. So do you think you can manage all those 60,000 thoughts? If I have 60,000 papers with me, my God, it requires a tremendous skill to arrange it, etc. So it is out of question. But Rhonda she's indicating another thing. She says awareness is the key. Awareness. I will come to that. Another problem with thoughts is you think the 60,000 conscious thoughts are the only thoughts. No, there are unconscious thoughts. Now I will come to something else. There is something called feelings which we can't neglect. Where do feelings come from? Thoughts which you are not aware of. So feelings are good feedback mechanism, good indicators, pointers to what kind of thoughts you are going on in you. What kind of program of thoughts is running you. So feelings will indicate you. A happy person, straight away, you know there is some happy, lovely thought going on. A sad person, depressed person, some destructive thought going on. You're not conscious, you're not aware. So feelings are the ways in which you can get slowly to your thought. Has any one of you practiced Vipassana meditation? Vipassana they call. A Buddhist meditation? Has anyone gone for it?
Yes.
Anybody? Yes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, I will not allow you to explain because that will take time. I got, I think, 10 more minutes, so I'll have to wind up fast. In Vipassana, we are taught to, first 3 days, you are taught to how to breathe properly, breathe with awareness, and to focus on a certain point between your nose and your lips. And after that, you have mastered that, then they will ask you, using that skill of yours, now scan your whole body. What should you pay attention to? Sensations, bodily sensations. Thoughts normally get translated as bodily sensations, which we call feelings. And it helps you to scan throughout your body minutely. That happens the next 6 days. And afterward, the Vipassana ends with, they call Mangala Maitri, where after you have arrived at a certain harmony in your life, wish that peace for others, to the entire world. That's how it ends. So this awareness has to be mastered through a certain way. And what happens, people who get enlightened and meditated through this meditation, they say, I was depressed before. After this particular experience also, I continue to be depressed. But there is a difference. Earlier, depression used to sit on me and control me. Now, no. I am the master of my thoughts and feelings. And I take a distance from it. And I observe it. So there are what Rhonda says about secret shifters. You know, when you are disturbed, negative thoughts, etc., you can use various means, music, pets, etc., to get away from that mindset. I will come to that later. So coming to the latter part is how to reconstruct. She uses 3 keywords: ask, believe, receive. Now it looks very, very simple, but it is not that simple. I will come to the first one. Have you heard about the Aladdin story? Aladdin had a magic lamp.
Yeah.
A genie appears and says, your wish, sir, is my command. You wish, sir, I will execute it. I will put it into practice and make it happen. So now that's the story. If you read the scriptures, since I'm used to Bible, I'm quoting from Bible. Ask, Jesus said, you shall receive. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened. Another place he says, ask and you will receive, and your joy will be complete. Now there is a way to ask, not just, many of our prayers, I say it is like begging. No, you should not ask like a beggar. Sir, please, could you give me 10 rupees for a chai? No. We also do that in temples, mosques, and churches. People, oh, I want this. Look, I've been suffering. I need money. I need a secure job. These are all begging. The way you ask, so Jesus gives a clue. If a child, human child, asks the father or parent or mother for an egg, do you give stone? Will you? No
Never.
mother, no father who loves will do that. So it's based on a relationship. So Jesus says some other place, until now you have not asked anything in my name. Just before he said something, ask, this part, ask you will receive, and your joy will be complete. Just before that, he says, until now, you have not asked anything in my name, in my relationship, in my friendship. Joined with me, who seeks the will of the Father, God. Inshallah, we say, you have not been with me to ask. So that's the difference of asking. So I put it a little differently. I say it is claiming. There is all of us will have in our family inheritance. What a father, mother wants to give to you when you become an adult and want to stand on your leg. It is called inheritance. Paitragam, something your ancestors passed on to you. But till you own it, make it in your name, it is not yours, is it? I think when Rhonda says ask, it is what you're saying, claiming. So Einstein said, universe is friendly. It provides what you need. You deserve all good things in life. But do we claim it? Do we own it? So elsewhere, John's letter says, this is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to God's will, I put S/he. You can think of God as she or he, all depends on how you look at it, hears us. And if you know that God hears us, what we ask, we know it will be realized. Now, I refer to Yoga Vasishtha. I've been studying that. Please mute your mic, please. I'm hearing some conversation. So, in Yoga Vasishtha, where Rama, who is confused, asks Vasishtha Guru, Maharshi, sir, teach me how to be free. So, one of the first two lessons he teaches is Shubhecha. You should will, your intention should be good. It should be pure motive when you ask. Second thing, Vicharana, inquiry. What you are asking? Why am I asking? To whom I am asking? So there are two stages to that. I will put it that way. Now coming to the second part, believe. I'm going to put it, believe. Many people say that. I want to put it as acknowledge. People who really pray for something should, before you ask, you should know what is already given to you, because it's a relationship, isn't it? I know that my father and my mother has been supporting me for my education, has been supplying me everyday food, place to sleep, dress, etc. You should be aware and acknowledge, oh, this has been given to me already. It is only such people who will have trust relationship. It is such people who are believers, who believe that it is mine. I can just place an order, it will come. I know the value of it. I know the utility of it. It is there for me. Today, people are making orders through Flipkart, Amazon, etc. Are you going to think, how is it going to come? No, you trust and believe that, okay, I have placed the order, I have paid for it, it will come. You have not to bother about how it is going to be. It is on the way. It is yours. It will be delivered to you. That's the kind of mechanism involved. Jesus says very often, repeatedly, your faith has healed you. He will never say, I have healed you. This is a difference between miracle workers, healers in our society, and a truly spiritual person. Your faith, my daughter, or your faith, my son, has healed you. Go in peace. This is repeatedly, I got given few references. It is repeatedly shown from the mouth of Jesus. My God, what a great person he is. And he is finding greatness in you. He picks up something wonderful in you and says, your faith has healed you. Aha. So, though you asked, it is because of your faith you have got that healing. Such a seeker, according to Yoga Vasishta, becomes Tanumanasi, transparent-minded, Sattvavati, firm in truth. Now, I go to the last part before it is time to stop. Then we can ask and clarify. 2 more minutes. Receive. Aha. Many people, it is being given to you, but you don't open your hand to receive. We are so proud, so egoistic, so self-absorbed, so lost in whatever anxiety. And people are going to give you, but so Jesus has got a nice story. People have been invited to a banquet, but you have all sorts of excuses not to respond to the banquet. So it seems the house owner said, okay, if that's the case, these people are not going to come and enjoy what I am giving. Please go to the street, whoever you find there, standing idle, unemployed, beggars, poor, call all of them. I can't waste my gift. I have taken so much trouble to prepare this fantastic banquet. I want it to be enjoyed. That's the problem. We don't know how to receive. I will not go to the stories there because that will show you the dynamism of what it means to receive. Very often, I think we are caught up in our residual outcome of our past. We are trapped. We are imprisoned in our past thoughts. Somebody told me, oh, you are good, no, good for nothing. Or you are not beautiful. Or you are not fair-skinned. That is going on monitoring your life. Or, oh, you are foul-smelled Natavayan. That people put that label to me. Am I going to believe and suffer that way? Most of us do that. So that's why we are not receiving. So Yoga Vasishta says there are 2 particular ways to understand it. Such people who have to receive should be naturally detached. They don't want to possess and say, oh, this banquet, I should get plenty and I want to put my burthen by my vessel full, and no. Such greedy people will not enjoy. They should be free people saying that, oh, I have been invited to receive this gift. Look at the sunshine. Every day sun is shining. But unless you go out and enjoy the sun, either morning and evening, that's why many people in India suffer from lack of vitamin D, because your skin is not exposed to sun. Vitamin D is formed only when you are exposed to sun. Sun is constantly giving, but we are not receiving because we prefer to sit in the air-conditioned room, get out air-conditioned car, go air-conditioned theater. Today, I heard there are air-conditioned churches and temples, etc. People prefer that sort of a thing. So one of my friends in Bangalore is suffering from osteoporosis at the age of 27. I was shocked. A man suffering from osteoporosis at the age of 27? How come? Normally, women with menopause will, after menopause, they get bones become brittle because they're losing calcium. But how come this fellow? He found out finally, after going to so many doctors, that he is not exposing himself to sunlight because calcium can be absorbed in the body if only you have vitamin D. So he changed his lifestyle. He even gave up that job. So Coming to the next part, padartha bhavani means you are not thinking black and white, this or that, just like this is the vase. No, not that. No, duality thinking stops in them, both inside and outside, and they begin to see something unified. Oh, if my God is giving me, because I am God's, and what is God's? This entire thing belongs to me because I am a child of God. I am the beloved of God, so I have a right to enjoy it. Let me just receive it. Okay, with that I stop. This is the 3 ways Rhonda says you can reconstruct your life. We will go to the question answer session. Yeah.
Okay, this is the question answer session. You can unmute your phone and clear the doubts. Okay.
Ask and you will receive. People who have to ask questions, you should unmute so that I can listen to you, or put in the chat box. I've opened my chat box, waiting to see your questions. Feel free. There is no wrong question or right question. That's another dualistic thinking, right or wrong, bad or good, winner or loser. Thoughts which are put into us by our society.
Maybe I can ask something?
Please, yes. Is it Sophie?
Oui.
That's French, oui. Okay. Yeah, ask. You can ask in French, I understand.
No, I can.
Okay,
I
you ask in English so that others understand also. Yeah. What is your question, Sophie?
So sometimes when I think, like, if I ask something, if you want to attract something, sometimes I question myself to know if what I ask is correct for me or not. So
self-doubt. Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes you think like, okay, I don't know, I will ask for a job, blah blah blah. But how do I know if this is the good thing for me? Like if I'm entitled to ask for this or not? So
yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. So do I deserve this? Is that the question?
What comes will come naturally to us. Why do we have to ask for it? So sometimes
that's also another part of it. Oh, if it comes naturally, why should I ask? That's a very logical question. Thank you, Sophie. So I think this is going on in everybody's mind, but some people open their mouth and ask. And those people who ask will get the answer. You understand? The dynamic is already here. You understand that?
Yes.
So, yeah. So you need to express your need, not your want, wishful thinking. Oh, if I was a beauty queen, things like that. No. So I think that will bring to another point. Rhonda says there should be 3 skills you should have. 3 skills to come to that. What is that? First, I think I already said awareness. For awareness, you have to quieten your mind. You begin to think and see clearly what you really need. If you have water, muddy water, You will allow it to settle down, keep it still. And in that, when the dirt, the mud is settled, you begin to see through, right? And you will even see your own face reflected, isn't it? Have you had that experience? Wonderful. So that's the way it is. You have to quieten and come to touch the real self. Most of our self is egoic self, which has been, today is the world of mask. We put the mask and run around. The mask is provided by the society, and the rules of the society say you should wear the mask. So we are all putting mask in a psychological sense. Actually, mask, persona, personality, persona, the word comes from mask. Why? For Greek drama, they used to wear something called mask, and you are acting like that fellow who is on the mask. Suppose I got the mask of a queen. I should produce a voice like a female and act like a queen. You understand? We are all acting this script. I saw the drama we are playing. You know it. I don't have to tell you what dramas we are playing. Very few people have got the guts and honesty to come to really touch their real self and understand, oh, this is what I really need. So there is no self-doubt there. So as Rhonda says, you need the skill of quietening yourself. That need not be, like what I did, Vipassana meditation, 10 days. And then after that, you have to practice it in your daily life, at least 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. You don't have to do that. Start with 3 to 4 minutes, morning or evening, just to quieten the mind. How I did it with a little girl here. I want to give you an example. 2-year-old girl. She was, very moody, etc. I was walking on the terrace. I called the father who was trying to quieten the child. Bring her up, bring her up. I showed the beautiful rising sun, and the child was like that, wondering the beauty out there. Then I told the child, look, the birds, you hear the sound, the music of the birds here. Then I imitated that sound. The child was shifted from that particular state to a different state and found like a wonder child, smiling at the. So there are various ways you can, there are 114 types of meditation according to Vijnana Bhairavi, from Kashmir Shaivism. So there are, each one should find your best way how to quieten your mind. It need not be sitting like this. No, it need not be kneeling on your knees. No, you can be doing a mindful walk, enjoying, not, oh, my app shows I have taken 3,000 steps. I should complete 5,000 steps. Then it becomes an obsession. You're controlled by that thought. Whereas if you just enjoy the surrounding, the ground under your feet, you will slowly find yourself quieting. That is the first skill you should practice. You got it? First. Second skill, Rhonda says you should be practicing gratitude. I put it, acknowledge already what you have. The gifts already given to you without even asking. Isn't it true? How much we have been given without asking? Is it not true? Look at your body. So many things have been given to you without asking. So count your blessings and be grateful, be thankful. I taught a girl, this is from real life, Shruti, who could not get married till the age of 33. She was a chemist, Mysore University rank holder, but something was going on disturbing her. I'm not getting the kind of match. Oh yeah, so I told her, I had guided her from, I think from college days. So I said, Shruti, look at the way God has been blessing you. Did you think you will get in Mysore University? There were limited seats. You got it. You came out with a rank. All these are blessings. Have you expressed gratitude? Can you write down somewhere, oh, I'm so grateful? I said, continue doing that for small things in your life. The air you breathe, the pure water you are lucky to drink, many things like that. The electricity you have, all this sort of thing. She was living in Bangalore. So she was working for ITI, no more Indian tobacco industry, but ITI has gone to perfumes and many other body care products. She was in that chemist. She started practicing gratitude diary. I said, I will check every day. So you send it to me on WhatsApp, what you wrote. So for 21 days, I followed her. Then I knew it has become a habit. And then she became a grateful person. In between, she forgot, she will get back to me. Oh, I skipped. I said, don't worry, get back. Today, she is a married girl. And after 33 minutes said, oh, it will be difficult to conceive for you because of some problem and all that. But she gave me the good news the other day. She's pregnant with a child, all that. So I think one experience I have, how she settled herself, somebody whom I guided. Of course, I practice myself. Third thing which Rhonda says is to come to this experience is visualize. You should visualize, imagine. So if you asked for something which is legitimate, without self-centeredness, which you think is okay to ask, visualize that. For example, before doing this session, last night I visualized how I will be looking at you people, how I will be relaxed and, I will be myself, smiling and wanting to give the best to them. So I visualized and I know it is happening. I don't have to make a big effort. It is flowing out of me. Okay. Do you get me, Sophie?
Yes, I get.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thanks to your question, I could touch the 3 skills for the benefit of everybody. Good.
It's a good remember.
Welcome. It is 4:14 or 15. We have got 15 more minutes. Any other question? I want to give you an example. Recently, somebody talked to me on the phone. I get online counseling calls, sometimes for therapy, etc. So this person was telling, oh, my wife fell down the other day with high blood pressure in the kitchen. Oh, terrible. My only daughter is away in Bangalore. And, and then finally he puts it like this. Interesting, take note of it. This is happening in most of us. It has become even a habit to many of us. He says, oh, my prayer to God is, oh, let not this happen to me. Who will take care? Let not this happen to me. It is a negative way of asking. It is a negative way of asking. Did you get me? Most of us are taught to think this way, negative ways. I should not be like that person. Or many women I see, you will compare with, oh, look at the sari she wears, oh, look at the salwar and come. I should also get and look beautiful like her. But your body shape, your complexion is different, and you need something else. You don't think in that what really need, but I should get something costlier, better than her, so that the society will think I am coming from a well-to-do family. Look at the way we are trained and programmed in our society. Expectations of peer group. Many students are suffering. Of elders, parents, teachers. That expectations, they want to dance according to that. This causes problem. It says our unconscious does not know how to make difference between negative and positive. Everything it takes. And normally it is positive. So it seems if that prayer, let not that happen to me. What should not happen to you? Put it in a positive way, that I fall and get sick. Exactly that will come to you. This is funny, but it is true. So you should always put in a positive way, constructive way. That will come to you. So that's why visualization is. Imagine yourself in that situation and think all good things happening, not only to you, to the other. So, ma'am, I can show you a last part I added because of my search and experience, something more to this so that people understand it. Okay, I will just share my screen. I will go to the last part. I recreated for myself, because this is my experience, empower. I added, so I put it as earlier, I put it as, I call it another name. Empower is, I learned this from my Prasanna teacher, whom I met recently. She said, you know, she shared with me, since I'm a person with whom she has related very closely. She told about her family problems and how her husband does not understand, how her in-laws do not understand all that. Suffering, terrible. But she said, you know, I asked her, but you look prasanna, you know, you true to your name, very, your face looks so, how did you manage this all this life? You're 72. So you transformed your suffering into something else. Then she said it like this. On the screen, you can read. One of you can read. These are her words. So I would like to hear a female voice. What is in blue?
Empower. Wisdom from Prasanna teacher. Move out of your ego circle and see things. Then move those people whom you judge out of their ego circle and see them. You make a difference in your life and their lives.
Ah, that's it. Now, these are words not of, I borrowed from somebody I heard just the other day from this teacher. And I said, my God, I have a wonderful, wise teacher in my life. And she's still alive to pass on this distilled wisdom from her life to me. I said, yeah, that's true. So Prasanna teacher, in spite of all that she heard from her in-laws, etc., moved out of her ego and saw, and moved them out of their ego circle. And so why could they be telling this? What are their sufferings? What is my husband suffering from? Why is he so indifferent to me? He only listens to my mother-in-law and his sisters. All that, she moved him out of that circle where he's trapped, and she moved herself out of that trap and started looking in a different way, detached way. Then what happened? She started loving and having self-esteem. She started respecting those persons, and with the limitations of theirs, of her husband, etc., life changed. It made a difference. So I put Yoga Vasishta's last stage called Turiya, that is Jivan Mukta, liberated and liberating. Many people pretend that they are liberated people. I know so many of these spiritual people they call, but they are not liberated people till they are able to liberate others. So I like this particular saying. I don't know whether you can see it. You can? A candle.
No, Father, we can't see because
I'll read. Yeah. A candle does not lose its light while lighting another candle. A candle, do you think it will lose its light when it lights another candle? No, it will help to increase that light. And there I would like to remember a Swami who helped me in my crisis situation. Swami's name is Satyarupananda from Vivekananda Ashram, belonging to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, that group. When I was going through a crisis, I didn't have any wise people There were many fathers and sisters, etc., but I couldn't go to them. So I went to this Swami accidentally. And at one point, when Swami heard me, very keen listener, only said one particular word at the end of my pouring out my trouble. He said, Bobby, unless you burn, you cannot pass the flame. Unless you burn, you cannot pass the flame. So empower yourself. So teacher's method is move out of your ego circle. Empower others that is your work to move them out of their ego circle they are trapped in, and look at them with compassion, understanding. And you will begin to see, something else. So I add, because of my experience and all that, empower. So instead of ask, believe, and receive, the formula of Rhonda Byrne, I put seek care, claim clearly, recognize, and receive, claim clearly, acknowledge, receive, and empower finally. So claim, ask clearly, acknowledge, believe, receive, and finally empower. So my formula I've developed from this lady, learning from her wisdom for my life, from my experience. I constructed a new thought. I'm not just borrowing her thought and repeating. So I call it seek care. You claim what belongs to you because God owns you. You're God's beloved child. So whatever God has, it's also yours. Claim clearly, with clarity, and acknowledge constantly with gratitude, etc. Receive without inhibition, open-minded, and finally empower yourself and others. No duality. We are all in the same thing. You will find a difference in your life. Now, what I'm trying to say, this is a natural state. And so I put this question. When you see something beautiful, like the other day, this child, a sunrise, what do you do normally? Each one of you can give me a response. What do you do when you see something lovely and you're enjoying it, beautiful? I give example, sunrise. Anything else?
Sometimes we appreciate it. Goosebumps was also coming from our
Yes,
body.
that happens to you. And then what do you do? Many people use this,
We will
right?
take a capture with something for someone.
Most of you have got mobile. You will somehow, this is the trend. Take that picture. Normally they share, isn't it?
Yes.
Sent to various groups. You have been lucky to watch this beautiful moment and you wanted others also to. This is natural. This is the natural state of anybody, human. So empowering is that natural state. So I say to myself, I was a wounded child earlier. So I used to get angry and number of things. But thanks to this process, which Rhonda says, I became a wonder child. You know, all of us have got a child, adult, and parent within. So the child within me, instead of becoming an adapted child, which most of us are, became a wonder child, spontaneous child. If I enjoy something, I said, this is not only for me, even for others. This happens to anybody. So I wish you all the same in your work, in your educational field, wherever you are interacting. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable, beautiful, and motivational words. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Ma'am, shall we wind up now, I think?
Yes, if anything you need to ask, 10 minutes there. Otherwise, we can wind up. Anyone needs to ask anything or share anything now?
Most
Sir, I
welcome.
have a question.
Yeah,
Please.
sure. Yeah, most welcome.
I don't know, it's my disability of my mind. I don't know about that. But I always have a tendency to, if someone is saying, if you are saying something like now lively, it will come automatically in my mind, the visualization. You say about the visualization, no? It will automatically, the current situation, if someone is saying that situation also, it will come always like a video. It will come and start run. If there is any problem, or is that okay with it is happening with everyone?
Yeah, you are asking me or to madam?
No, to you, sir.
To me. Our mind, since I have done some courses on counseling, I took my diploma, and NLP, I did masters. What I understood is our mind is like, like a projector. Thoughts are like the film roll, and when they run if you have been to a cinema theater, it is our consciousness is the light. So the light of consciousness passes through this film and is projected to our life situations like visual or video, whatever you said. This is constantly happening. And if you play the cinema, this film will go on and on and on. So that is the process you are undergoing. I undergo, I'm sure everybody does that. Some people become, mentally disturbed, etc., because they are so caught up in this film. But this is not the reality. Reality is much more than that. Reality has been caught through photography, moving photography, whatever that instrument is, made it into a film, and you are only playing it in your mind. And so you're seeing it. But don't believe, if you put that off, you don't see anything. You will see the blank screen. Tabula rasa, they say. So there is a way you can change the cinema, what's going on. And most of us get caught and when you watch the cinema, you cry, you laugh at things, what is happening. That's okay for enjoyment. But when you look at your life, and if you're going to play this cinema, you're caught in it. You're entrapped. And what happens to many people who go out of mind or balance is, this is what is happening. So there are ways to get out of it. In NLP, they call VKD, visual, kinesthetic. Actually, visual and kinesthetic is the film, what you're talking about, seeing the film running. Dissociated. There are methods by which you can dissociate and take a distance from this playing the film in your mind and thinking everything is like that, and associate it with something greater, beautiful, wonderful. And then you say, oh, you begin to relativize. You think, okay, that is one particular moment that happened, but that is not everything. I should not absolutize. There are also other aspects. From another angle, I can look at it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the question. Now, since just related to that question, many of us get into emotional traps, caught in some kind of emotion, say anger or sadness or anything. And it becomes a habit, right? Because you have been playing it again and again in your life. And the neural pathway is created. So you tend to think only that way. You tend to feel only that way. How to get out of it? I have organized something called Inner Freedom Retreat with somebody who has done Vipassana for 30 days It's a father who's in his 80s, and he has also done, they call Gestalt therapy from CMC Vellore, Christian Medical College Vellore. He and me, two of us, are conducting a directed one-to-one retreat. So there is no preaching in a big group, no sharing your problems with others. Even to us, you don't have to reveal all that, but you only have to indicate what is the emotional state you're going through. And we help them out to get out of it. One experience that I found is that when you get out of that, even your body heals. The last person who we led is a principal who had a shoulder problem, frozen shoulder. At the end of that, she could take a chopper and cut things with her. And afterwards, she went out in the garden with an axe. She started cutting firewood. Then later she said she's in Bangalore. She swam. Imagine, she thought for years together that she can't do that. So you see, there are emotions that settle in our joints and begin to affect your health. You can get out of it. So I am giving you that possibility. Anyone can come. You don't have to belong to any sect or faith or religion, because this is nothing to do with religion. It has got to do with a way of working out to get freedom within. So there is no religious ceremony or anything. Only like this teacher I have called, so that she will tell the story, how she worked it out and got out. People who had experience, they will share, or their audio clip will play it for you. So you can work it out in silence, all by yourself, in your room or in garden. There is a nice riverside. And so welcome. I will pass that brochure to Bindu ma'am. She will pass to you. Okay?
Yes, sir, we need it.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you once and for all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. And thank you very much for your valuable time with us. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hope to meet you again sometime.
Yes, definitely, sir.
Yes,
We really enjoyed your section. Never expected your class would be like this, because when Bindu ma'am passed on this about you, when I saw your pic, I thought, okay, it's an old man. What is he going to do?
Yes, I accepted gracefully. I am not ashamed.
Your smile is also very cute. While you're smiling, you're
usually
getting a positivity.
Yeah. Yes, usually because old people, they will talk in their way, right, sir? They don't come to our level. So when I I had a picture in my mind what you are going to speak or what you are going to present, but it was totally different when you started speaking. And I plan to off my cam, and usually when it is boring, we'll do something else, right?
Yeah, in the beginning, we all think about that. It will be boring after that.
Yeah.
We discussed in the group also.
Yeah, when you started speaking, actually, I thought I really miss a sir like you in my life, sir. Like, really. After you spoke, we like when we heard your speech, we want you again. We want your class again, sir.
Inshallah, if God wants, it will happen. You visualize, you ask, and receive it. Believe it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramya ma'am.
Thank you.
Of course, it is
Bye.
indeed.
That's why I already told you, no, never miss this class. Okay, both of the batches. Yeah. I was sure about that. Okay.
Of course. Now we all energized.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we wind up, ma'am, then?
Yeah. Of course.
So, word of thanks. Let me invite our Tinsy ma'am. Tinsy ma'am, please.
Yes, thank you, Reggie, ma'am. Good evening, all. Myself, Tinsy, and student of NCDC 46 batch. I consider this occasion as an honor and privilege to extend my vote of thanks. On behalf of the entire batch and students, I would like to thank our chief guest, Father Bobby Vadakal, for taking his precious time and consenting to be as a chief guest here. Sir, indeed, your words are very inspired very much all. So it was a very effective class for us all. Definitely, we all really enjoyed that. Thank you from my bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Then I would like to thank our beloved faculty, Bindu ma'am. Thanks for arranging this wonderful webinar, ma'am. Thank you so much. Then also I want to express my thanks to Praveena ma'am. Thanks for joining us, ma'am. Thank you. Then last but not least, friends, thank you all for the presence and thanks for the cooperation. Once again, thank you. Thank you all.
One more person is there who introduced me for the Bobby. That is my auntie, Sister JC. She is here.
Yeah. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you, Jayashree ma'am, for your presence.
You all are familiar, yes.
Yes. In the beginning, we noticed. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You guys are really amazing as ma'am. Actually, we are wondered while seeing their energy and all. No, last class you arranged for that ma'am.
Yes.
No, that was so very nice. Wonderful it was.
So
Thank you.
congrats to Bindu ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you,
of
Father.
course, he's our great motivator and support.
Yeah, definitely. We can meet with another topic, sir.
Okay.
We all want to hear from you.
Yeah,
Sure.
we can arrange. Right, Father?
Oh, sure. At your service. Always. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
And sir, this is the
Bye,
first time we are requesting some guests to come again.
Yes.
Yes, from the bottom of our heart, we are requesting you, sir. Please give another class for us.
Yes, of course.
Inshallah, if God wills.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Bye.
Thank
Okay.
you all.
Okay, bye, Father.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.